Excuse me, this is Karthikeyan Panechiri Srinivasan. I am the presenter for the session basically. Like, do we have any faculty out here? Hello.
Very good evening, one and all. On behalf of the trustee, management, principal, HOD, staff, and the students of SA Engineering College, I extend a warm welcome to one and all present in this virtual platform. To know more about the college, SA Engineering College was established in the year 1998 and is successfully continuing its educational service beyond 25 years of excellence. SA Engineering College has taken the forefront of technical education through its distinctively different and carefully nurtured standards. The college is approved by the AICT New Delhi and affiliated to Anna University, accredited by the NBA, and also has an A grade from NAC, and is also a 9001-2015 certified institution. The college believes in preparation for the life ahead in all earnest and provides every opportunity to grow beyond academics. In view of the same, many in-house programs like placement trainings, value-added courses, workshops, symposiums, and guest lectures are also organized to make the students industry ready. We all are assembled here today to motivate and cherish the young minds present among us. At this juncture, I feel honored to welcome our resource person, Mr. Karthikeyan Srinivasan, Senior Software Engineer, Systech Solutions. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, it's audible.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, shall we start with the session now? Okay, let me start off with the session. So basically, I think so currently there are 51 people in the call. Okay, so can any one of you people can tell me like what is this session all about? Like basically, you must have gotten an intro or just a glimpse about the topic which I'm going to present today, right? So whether anyone have got any kind of chance to look into the topic before coming into the session? Anyone? Guys, could you please respond me with an yes or no so that I can understand that I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
Anyone?
Regarding data analytics, sir,
Okay, okay, fine.
based on data, every company is going to be improve or deprove everything based on data also only, sir.
Okay, okay, fine, super. Thank you, Niranjan. Apart from Niranjan, do we have any kind of answers, or like whether anyone have any other answer to inform you? Okay, let me go ahead. I'll start sharing my screen. Okay, let me know when you are able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Are you able to see?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So basically, like as we discussed, and also Niranjan said, like this session is all about data analytics. When it comes to data analytics, nowadays, like you could see like everywhere, starting from engineering standpoint, like that is even in terms of colleges and in terms of manufacturing, media and entertainment, and any kind of industries, right? So data analytics plays a vital role in organizing the shape of business nowadays. Without data, like the business is not able to make up a proper decision, even in their revenue standpoint or in terms of forecasting things also. So before starting off with data analytics, like I would like to show you a set of agenda which I have in place for this particular session. So basically, like in this particular session, I'll be like driving you through what is data analytics and the prerequisites to perform data analysis and the end-to-end process in data analytics and the flow diagram, followed by the professionals or the jobs which are taking part in this particular process, and along with what we have to do in order to have a strong base for a data analytics career, even it is for a new guy who or a fresher or a college student or one who is already in a different stream who wants to like or who has an aspiration to get into the field of data analytics. So this particular agenda shows you all about what we are going to deal with in the next 40 to 50 minutes. So basically, like in order to start off with data analytics, so why are we doing data analytics and what is the necessity, like all these questions can come into mind of the people when we hear the term data analytics. Basically, we use the past data in order to get some insights. For example, in terms of uh, small grocery store, right? What do we do with respect to their data? If I get a data from a grocery store, I'll be having information about their sales data on a daily perspective. Suppose if I get a data from a big supermarket, I will be getting the sales information of that supermarket for the past 1 year or so. And also in terms of manufacturing industries, when I get their data, I could be able to see the information about the number of items which they have manufactured till date and the number of items which they have sold. So in each and every industry we have data. People are documenting each and every information in Excel or even in a normal Word document or anywhere, everywhere data is being documented and stored. So the purpose of data analytics is to make use of this particular data in order to get an insight of what has happened in the past. So when people talk about data analytics, basically they will be performing certain operations in this particular data and they'll be predicting the future. So this is what a simple data analytics mean. So whether anyone have any questions on this till the one which I have completed? Anyone? Okay, if not, I'll continue. Yeah. So basically, with respect to the prerequisites, so we have got or we understood what is data analytics. Basically, we are using the data in order to perform analysis, like in order to get some insight on what has happened in the past. but it is not a direct a ready-made meal which is available for us to get an insight of what has happened in the past. So in order to get an insight of what has happened in the past, people won't provide any kind of data directly. Okay, so basically, they will be providing data in the form of text files or junk files, or even video, audio, or any kind of information. So basically, we must be prepared, or we need to have a set of procedures, or a guidelines in order to operate on the data. So uh, when you see this particular question, like what are the prerequisites to perform data analytics, basically, like what comes to your mind? For example, if I ask you, any one of you people, to perform data analytics, like what will you do before performing data analysis? Anyone? Team, I just want this session to be an interactive session. Like, even if you are right or wrong, you can even unmute yourself and give an answer, which will make the session more interactive. Anyone? I think so. There are 76 people in the call. If I get a single answer, I'll be very much happy. Anyone? Okay. So basically, like, in terms of the prerequisites to perform data analysis, right? So these are nothing but the things which we need to keep in mind before performing data analytics. If we have any kind of students out here, or any professionals who are planning to do a kind of mini project in your third or final year, or who is going to mentor some people in their final year project, you can even document these things. Basically, like, in order to perform data analytics, we need to have a question of why do we need to perform data analytics on data. For example, if I have a sales data in my hand, I need to have a point on what I'm going to deal with data. If I'm having a grocery data, I'll be taking this data and I'll be performing some sales analysis report over the past couple of months, or past couple of years, or so and so. And that is the first thing you have to ask the business or the individual, or in your case, you can, if your professor, or if you are planning to do a project for a third party vendor, you can just ask the requirement, his or her requirement, on what he is in need of in order to perform this data analysis, what he is going to get out of the data. So after getting the requirement, that is the business question, you need to just get the data from him. You need to, maybe your client, or your the person who is asking the requirement, may be having data in text files, or he may be having data in tables, or he may be having data in any kind of any format of data, right? So what you have to do, right, you have to get all these information, that format and type of data, from the client whom you are going to do the project, right? You have to get the type of data and the data sets from him on a prior basis, and you need to have a discussion with him on how frequent he will be providing you with the data. So once you are ready with the requirement and the data, third one is the important one. So you have to be pretty much sure on how you are going to operate on the data, because as I said previously, people won't provide you directly with data. They will provide you some random sets of records and random junk of data, which you have to first process, and then only you will be able to provide a report to the uh, the downstream team, or the client whom you are working with. So you have to be pretty much sure on what is the tool or the technology which you are going to use throughout your project or the process. If you are from if you are a student who is aspiring to do a data analytics project, right, ultimately, like, you won't be spending any kind of amount or things for subscriptions. So in that case, like, you can just choose even Python for your data processing activity. Nowadays, like, people, anywhere and everywhere, Python is having a place over there. So basically, like, if you have a good knowledge in Python, even you can perform the data processing operation using the coding language called Python. So if you are ready with all these points, the checkpoints before you start with, the next operation is nothing but the flow is nothing but, if you are going to start a project or if you are going to mentor a project, you will be having a sequence of steps which has to be performed in the project to get the final output. For example, if you are in a third year of your college, or consider if you are in a final year, you will be having reviews on a frequent basis with your um, professor or so and so people, right? So in that case, what you will be doing in the initial set of phase, you will be having an agenda on what you have to do, and you will be having a objective, and you will be having a set of points which will be completed on a periodic basis. Consider a case, if you are planning to do your project in a single month, on the first week you will be working on the design part. You will be just making sure what are all the things which you are going to do, and how are you going to present it, like how are you going to build it. And after the first 10 days, in the next 10 days, you will be focusing on the development work. And after your development gets over, you will be moving to the testing part, and after testing part, you will be presenting or giving a demo of your project to your manager, or your corresponding mentor, or your professor in your college. So that's how the process works, right? So being a student or being a professional, like, be it anywhere around, uh, we have to follow the order properly. Like, if we have to get a proper requirement, we have to get a proper data, like, we have to get the utmost information from the people or the client whom you are working. If you are working on an open source project in your college, you need to, like, you will be having open source data sets everywhere in internet, right? So in multiple platforms, you can get the corresponding data, and you will be performing the data analytics operation over that particular data. So only when you keep these operations in mind, your flow will not get impacted. Is that fine? Like, whether anyone have any questions in this slide? Anyone? Can you hear me? Hello? Okay,
Sir.
thank you. Yes, please. Okay. So in terms of the next set of activities, right? So the next one which we are going to talk about is nothing but, so till now we have been discussing about things which we need to do before starting our development phase, like before starting our process. These are all the things which we need to have in mind, the requirement and all the other steps which we need to keep it ready before proceeding with. After we start off with our activity, there are certain set of processes which we need to have in mind. So I'll just show you those set of activities. So if I have a junk information, consider, I'll just project it to you in a pictorial representation. So consider, like, this is the process, okay, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So consider you have this data from the client or the customer, or consider your case, if you are a student or a freelancing guy, you may be working with an open source data set, right? So in that case, like, this is the source data which you will be having. So from this particular data, we won't be obtain an insight. Basically, I will not be able to provide a historical report for a company, or like a grocery store or a manufacturing industry or anything, right? 1 to 5 is not possible, because data will be it won't be in a proper format to convert it directly to a report or something. So we need to handle the data. For example, I'll show you one thing. So consider a case, if I have ID, if I have name, if I have score, if I have A, B, C, D, and if I have XXX. why. Hey, hey, hey. If I have 98, 87, 67, I'm not fine. Uh, Consider this as the stage one. If I get a data like this in my stage one itself, uh, my process of obtaining this report will be very much easier. Okay, because see, the data is already in a proper format. We have a proper set of column out here called ID name score, and we have the person who have scored that many number of runs, and we have the numbering column also. But you won't, in a normal project or environment, or the open source data set which you will be getting it from the internet, it won't be having data in this format. Okay, the data will be somewhat like a kind of junk data. It won't be in a proper format. So if I give this data input to my reporting tool, the output will be like, it won't be in a proper way which I've expected. For example, if I want an output to be in this particular fashion, if I give a junk data input like this, it won't be giving me a proper output. So I have to first process this data so that it becomes like this. Okay, so basically this becomes the stage one now, and this becomes the stage 2 or 3. Okay, so when I am having a junk data, my first requirement is to cleanse it and process it. So according to the picture I have shown you here the data is not in a proper format, meaning it is in junk format. So what do we have to do? We have to process the data. So as I have mentioned earlier, people may be having different kinds of methodologies in processing the data. Some people may be processing the data through a subscription oriented tool, or some people may be processing the data through a normal a script directly, or some people may be processing a tool in a different kind of way. So if you are a student or a open source guy like who is working on on a project in your college, you can use a kind of you can use Python to perform your data processing activity, or like we can integrate Python and SQL to perform this data processing activity, so that your data from this process becomes this. Basically, the stage 1 to stage 2 transformation takes place. So once it becomes it becomes a proper format, your halfway work is done, because data processing is the very main activity which has to be performed properly. Only when it is performed properly, the subsequent steps will become easier for you. Okay, so when data processing is done properly, you have to just load this data into a particular place, basically in the field of data analytics, where most people prefer storing the data in the tables. Okay, so data in the tables, in the sense the table in your warehouse. So you guys must be having a knowledge or understanding of what is a table, right? You must be having a course, or like you must have gone through a course called database management system in your college, if you are experienced, like if you are in a kind of second or third year, or if you are in your beginning of your college. Data warehouse is nothing but a place where you are storing your data in the form of tables. Okay, so everyone is getting the point, right?
Yes.
So if
Sir,
yeah, thank you. So basically, like in that case, if you are able to process your data and load it into a warehouse, you will have your meal cooked up ready. Okay, so the input for this reporting tool will be ready in a place. Okay, consider this box as a data warehouse. and I have tables like this: product, company information, the associated customers for that company, and the billing information for that particular set of products which are being sold by the company. Every information you will be having in your place after your data processing process. Okay, so once you have all your information ready, the next step will be like generating the report from the data. Basically, when you see this particular small box of charts, you will see bar charts. This is called a donut chart, and you will be able to see a lot of metric information out here. uh, Basically, like when you see this kind of bar or pie charts, you will usually, you can understand, right, that these charts are just used to, sorry, okay, so basically, like, these charts are just used to indicate what is the percentage of runs scored by a, like a percentage of runs scored by a person when compared to his whole team. Consider this a donut chart, the whole donut chart to be the score scored by your entire team, and this dark blue color may represent the score scored by Sachin, and this blue color may represent the score scored by Dhoni, and this orange, yellow, and green. uh, if you are talking to me, please go on mute. Sorry. So if you could see like lot of runs scored by each and every, sorry. Okay, so basically, like each and every segment represents a set of things which are contributed by a particular person for his team. And when you see like bar chart, like you could see like the green and red may represent a set of, consider this will be like my total revenue, and this may be my profit for an year, and correspondingly I'll be having a revenue and the corresponding profit of a company. So in this case, uh, data or information which has been provided to you is converted into a set of visually represented information. If I'm showcasing this information to a person, he will be able to identify, um, you'll be able to get some insights on what has happened in the past. Consider a case, if in terms of cricket, like if you see like this contribution, as I said previously, Sachin has contributed most of the percentage in terms of scores for Indian team. So through that we will be able to get an insight on how to make the other players uh, more reliable, or more productive in comparison with search. And like we can focus on the other areas or the other players by using this information. And also in terms of revenue and sales, if I am seeing a decline in the profit over certain years, I can get an understanding of the profit which is happening in a company over a period of years, and I can see like what I can do in order to improve this particular number in my chart. Basically, the entire idea is, using this particular information you will be making some useful decisions for your future. That's what it is all about. So anyone having any questions in this till now? Any questions till now? Okay. Okay. So basically, with respect to the professionals who are taking part in the process, so I have a question, like how many of you are like doing college in this particular call, like who are currently pursuing their UG or so and so courses? Like I could see like around 88 people in the call. Like if you are, consider a case, if you are a person who is in your UG curriculum, if you are going through, like if you are in your first year or second year, suppose if you are in a polytechnic college doing second or third year. If you are in a high school, maybe 11th or 12th, who's going to get into a computer science engineering or a kind of similar course where you will be learning about all these technical stuffs in the future. So you have to just pretty much you have to start working on what you want to be, or what you have to be after a set of 4 years or 5 years in your case. So basically, like, only when you start now, you will be you'll be market competent when you graduate from your college. Because, like, nowadays, like, we have a lot of people coming out of the college, and many people are graduating with a lot of marks. So graduating with marks and with a set of good certificates or other things is not alone enough. So you have to just spend some extra time in gaining your skills in all the stuffs, in terms of programming. You just focus on a single programming language and try to have a very strong foundation over there. So in that case, like, if you are in your first year of your college or in your polytechnic batch, like, if you have a span of 4 years where you are practicing on a single programming language, and if you are mastering it, you will be able to crack any kind of interviews in the future related to the programming language. Or even if you will be able to even find a similar way to patch up with any other coding languages. So that's what it is. So coming back to here, so we have seen, like, what is happening in the data analytics process. So I have mentioned a lot of steps from A to Z, but the thing is, there won't be a separate person to do all this activity. Basically, each and every step is being taken care by a set of professionals in this area. So when you see in this particular phase, this is my final phase result, this is my first one. So when I am when a person who is interacting with the customer, or who is getting the requirement from the customer and designing certain things. Sorry. Okay. So a person who is getting a requirement from the customer, or like, consider a case, if you are getting the requirement from your professor in your college, and you are the one in your team who is going to design the set of steps and the model of your activity, then you are called your architect of the project. So you are the one who is going to design your project. In that case, you are the architect. So in terms of the next set of activities, the person who is working on loading the, like, the data processing activity, and loading that particular set of processed cleansed data into a set of tables in your warehouse, that particular person is called data engineer. Basically, 2, 3, 4 are the activities which are carried out by the person called data engineer. So what he will do, he will populate all the information, and he will give a green flag to the next set of people. And the next set of people who are going to design these charts are nothing but your business intelligence developers, visualization developers. They can even be called as BI developers. So these are the people who will be working on providing you a set of diagrams or charts about the informations which have happened in the past. Basically, they will be providing you with a set of information which will be useful for you and which will be useful for the business. Okay, so in every set of process, we are encountering a profession, in this case an architect, a data engineer, a visualization engineer. I have covered 3 professions out here. And there is also a set of people, you will be like, when you go into LinkedIn, or when you explore something about your data space, what is happening in the data market, you will be able to see data scientists, machine learning engineers. Those people are nothing but they are the people who will be predicting the future based on the past information. So basically, they will be using this data from the past, and they will be deciding the future. They'll be providing you a kind of forecasting information, as like our weather forecast people. So you will be seeing a lot of newses where they will be predicting the weather forecast for the next couple of days or the next set of days, right? So like that, data scientists are the people who will be like using the previous set of records, and they will be predicting the future sales of a supermarket or a grocery store, or if in terms of big, it will be like a kind of manufacturing industry, sales market, like everywhere, like they will be predicting the future. Very important use case is stock market. Like if you know like something about stock market, there are people or data scientists over there where they will be using the previous set of information, and they will be predicting whether a particular company's stock will be going down or high. So in this data space, we do have a lot of professionals who are working. So data analytics is not just limited to data analyst. So there are a lot of things, n number of activities which are happening in the area of data. So if you wish to explore, or if you want to pursue a kind of career in your future with respect to data analytics, please you have free access to everything. You have your internet ready, you have free data like 1 or 1.5 or 2 GB of data per day. Like make use of that. You will be, I know you will be having a particular time for your studies. Like after spending like 1 or 2 hours for your studies, you can just spend like 15 to 20 minutes at least per day on this exploration. Because um, only when you start plan for your future during your initial phase of from the initial phase of your college days, you will be able to mold yourself or sharpen yourself over the set of 4 years. When you finally graduate from a college, you will be able to get a good job, or even an ambitious job which you had dreamt of. Okay, so that's what it is. And with respect to the other things, like as far as now, like I was discussing about the things which happens in data analytics, and the ones which are the professional activities or the professional people who are taking part in this particular process. And I just want to give you a glimpse of what you have to do in order to form a good base for your career. So in terms of anything, in terms of data space, like you have to have a strong expertise in your SQL, Python, or and followed by you have to um, get some hands-on, or like kind of practice or learning stuff over your college days in the cloud services. Because nowadays none of the technology is standing alone. If you know Python, you need to know like how to use it, where to use it. It is not like alone. You have to just know the syntax or the code on how to find a Fibonacci series, or how to find the like how to check whether a number is prime or not. Like these things are fine, like in terms of a preliminary one. But when you want to pursue one particular area as a career, you have to just start working on it. Basically, you have to just prepare for it. In terms of data analytics or engineering, you have to first be a strong person in SQL, and you have to be a very strong person in Python, and you have to know, or at least you have to just have the basics about the cloud services, right? As your AWS, Google Cloud, like everything is booming nowadays. And as I said previously, like nowadays everyone is learning, and everyone is becoming an engineer, and everyone is graduating with good marks. In order to stand out from the crowd, you have to be pretty much, you have to showcase your knowledge in such a way that splits you from the cloud. Okay, so just prepare yourself. And there are also a lot of websites and portals which are in place, where you can actually like practice and prepare or enhance your programming language. For example, when you see my screen, there is a platform called Hacker Rank, where you can actually practice SQL, Python, C, Java, anything, right? Like you can just go here and you can sign up, and just you can practice or enhance your programming knowledges in any front. This will be very very useful when you are going to attend an interview in your final year of your college, or when you are going out and when you are attending an interview, right? So people will be they won't be asking you like face to face questions in the first or second round. They will be providing you an online evaluating platform, and they will just give you an exercise to work on. You have to just satisfy the requirement, and you have to just run a code prepared by you during that particular frame of time, and you have to get shortlisted for the subsequent process in order to get a job, and this is not only the only platform where you can practice coding. Basically, like, there is also another platform called Hacker Earth. So in Hacker Earth also, like, you can just sign up, and you can just work on enhancing your Python skills, SQL skills. If you are after completing a set of activities, you will be getting badges, and you will also getting certificates, which will be useful when you are coming out, after n number of years from your college, or like when you are graduating in your final year. So, and also there is a platform called DataCam. This is actually specifically designed for data professionals, where you can actually focus on building your building your skills using a proper pathway. So apart from like these, maybe like one or two websites which I am showing. Apart from this, there are like n number of materials or resources which are available in the internet, which you can actually make use of. uh, if you are like, I'm iterating it again and again, if you are in your final period of high school, and if you are in your polytechnic college, or if you are doing an engineering, be it a first year guy, a first year person, or like second year person or third year person, like, just start on enhancing your knowledge. Have a strong knowledge in at least a single programming language. Have a good base in at least any of the cloud services. Like, you can apart from the time you are spending for your normal educational activities on your weekend or during your free time, just spend some time on these particular stuffs, which will be definitely worthy for your future. And apart from this, you also have a platform called Udemy, where you can get any course on any topics, and it will be also an useful one. Like, if you want to, you can learn it as a whole, or you can learn it as a group. It will be very much useful for you if you are trying to learn something, or learn some course, or performing a certification. So I think so I pretty much covered everything. So thank you all. So anyone have any questions based on the last 40 minutes? At least, can I have an answer, please? Can you hear me? Hello? Second slide. Okay. So I'm sharing the second slide. This is the second slide. Any questions in this? Okay. Any other questions? Any questions? No doubts. But you got the point, right? Like, the ultimate motto of this object, the ultimate objective of this particular course is, I don't want this knowledge or the things which you got from this particular session to be completed or get over within this particular period of time. I want you to go back and just explore on what are all these steps. And if you want to truly if you have an aspiration to become a data professional, or be a different professional, even if you want to become a normal Python developer, or a web developer, or a product developer, just focus on enhancing your skills, because this is the period of time where you have to spend for yourself. And only if you gain knowledge, you will be uh, looked apart from the cloud. Okay. So yes, Muttumari Lakshmi. Yes, please. I think so. Someone has raised their hand. What are all the skills required to be an data analyst, sir? Okay, super. Very good. Okay. So tell me, like, who is a data analyst? In a simple term, one who analyzes the data is called as data analyst, right? So basically, when if you have to become a data analyst, right, just you have to just uh, have a passion, or something to get something from the data which you are provided with. Because when you see the top, the title of this particular role, the role itself is seeking for a person who must have a capability to analyze the data which has been provided to him. So the first thing is, like, you need to have something like the data analyzing capability. For example, take like, if you want to hone that skill, like, take a newspaper, like, don't spend too much time, just read a single column, okay? So and if you are doing it on a daily basis, even that will be helping you to improve your data analytics skills. Because data analytics is nothing but just you are analyzing the data which you are seeing in either way around, right? So in terms of business, if you, or in terms of your cricket, so if you are ready to analyze the data which is provided as a summary report to you, and if you are curious to do it, then it is one of the skills which you need to become a data analyst. And in terms of technically speaking, you need to have a good knowledge in SQL, structured query language. You must be knowing it. So you need to have a good knowledge, a very good knowledge in SQL, because in terms of an employment perspective, people will be providing you with the data mostly in tables. So only if you have a proper knowledge in SQL, you will be able to do an analysis on the data which has been provided. So try to have a good knowledge in SQL. We may see, like, usually when we progress throughout the college or during uh, graduation itself, like, SQL won't be considered as a bigger thing. Okay, we will be studying it, and some people may even consider it as an easy one. So actually, if you are mastering SQL, it has a very greater scope in data space. If you are a person who has mastered SQL, you have the capability to become an SQL developer, or a DB, a database administrator, or even a data analyst. I think so. I have answered your question, Alvin. So by learning C++ language, we can get our skills through the. So basically, like, Karthik, yeah. So every language has its own spacer. Basically, like, when you see, like, not only like SQL, like C++ or C or Java or Golang, anything, right? So when you are learning a programming language, right, what I would suggest, don't learn it on a kind of halfway cooked meal. Because when we were in college, or when people used to be in college, what we usually do, we will be uh, learning the basics of coding. We will be just going through the basics of coding, and we'll just memorize, or we'll just have a general font of how to write a code for primary number, prime number, or how to write a code for this factorial thing. And we will be having only a set of 5 or 6 paradigms through which we will be deriving, or, like, going through it. Basically, we won't think beyond it. But only when you learn coding in such a way, like, don't learn it for the sake of writing an exam or solving a small question. Like, learn programming language for the purpose of solving a solution. Because when you enter an interview, they won't ask you, like, even if you write a small code with respect to find how to find whether a number is prime or not, if you write a set of if and else class, they won't be satisfied with it. Because everyone knows how to find whether a prime number is prime or not. But what they will be looking for, right, they will be looking for an optimized code. So try to learn any program language, not only in the overview level, go into depth. take just a single scenario, even at your even or odd number. Just take that one single scenario, try to solve it in multiple ways, try to solve it using loops, try to solve it using without using loops, and try to solve it, try some of the problems using recursive functions. Try solving the same problem using different approaches may open a door to multiple opportunities. Because like in an interview, an interviewer may ask you to solve a single problem using 3 different approaches using a programming language. And if you are doing only one approach, he will definitely identify that you have done a memorization activity, which anyone can do, right? Because people want developers and they don't want people who have mugged up their work. So if you are focusing on any programming language, be it C++ or C or anything, just learn it properly and try to do a lot of exercises. Try to solve a single problem using different approaches, and that will be more than enough to crack an interview or get a career in any track. I think so. I have given a answer for you, Karthik. Yeah. Any other questions?
Sir, good evening, sir. What are the limitations to be considered in data analytics, sir? What are the
Actually,
limitations?
Limitations. Basically, in terms of, thank you, Mutmari. Like basically in terms of limitations, I don't think so. We have limitations in data analytics. The only thing is if you have proper data, proper requirement on what you have to deal with the data and what must be your outcome. And second thing is, if you are getting a proper data, if you have these two things, then your output will be 100% perfect, and it will be the one which is required by the customer or the end user. And data analytics doesn't have any limitations, and that is why it has been like hottest area in these days, and that's what it is.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions? Any other questions, team? So no questions. Is it possible to make a subprogramming language using other programming language? So, so basically, like what you are asking is it possible to integrate one or two programming languages? Is that your question, Ritik? Is it like, is this the one which you are asking for, Ritik? Yeah. So basically, like when I was going through the lecture, I was telling a particular part. So I have mentioned about a thing called data processing, right? So in terms of doing data processing, usually what we do, right, or what normally people do, they will be performing half of the activities using Python. Okay, for consider a case, if I'm going to do some data cleansing on a table which is residing in a database, I will use Python along with the SQL to perform this work. Okay, so Python is a language, and along with it I am using SQL. So in this way, like I am integrating Python and SQL to perform a single activity called data processing. So apart from this, like you won't be able to see other programming languages getting integrated, but you can see SQL integrated with multiple programming languages. Like you can integrate SQL with Java, or you can integrate with the SQL with Python, or you can integrate SQL with JavaScript or anything. So in that case, integration is possible. Is that fine? Like, will the answer has satisfied your question? Okay. Any other questions? Last one or two questions. Okay, so everyone like at least have got an understanding on data analytics and what you will be doing, or what will be your plan after this particular session, right? Just don't take this as a 30 minutes or 50-minute session. Just go and think about what you're going to pursue in your future, because this is the time, even if you are in your high school, or even if you are in your beginning phase of your college, or ending phase of your college, don't waste your time. Okay, I know, like, I'm not advising, I'm just giving my points. Like, if you have time, just practice on mastering any skill, because as I said previously, everyone is educating now and everyone is educating with good marks. If you have to stand away or stand apart from the crowd, you have to show at least benchmark for you in comparison with other people. Can I get to learn about programs other than Python in this 4 years? Yeah, actually, like, basically, like, any programming languages, right? So even if your curriculum is concerned, like, you will be able to learn about, like, when I was pursuing my computer science and engineering course, I got an opportunity to learn about C++, Java, JSB, JavaScripts, everything. Like, I got an opportunity, and uh, we had a good set of professors who taught us and who made us good in these programming languages. Definitely you will be also having an opportunity to learn multiple programs, or, like, programming languages in your curriculum also. But what I would say, right, um, learn everything but master one thing. Like, you can even have a good understanding of all programming languages, but try to be a master in one programming language, because you must know, if you are a good person with a good knowledge in that programming language, say Python or Java, and if you know in and out of Java, job market is there to give you a competitive package and with a superb title in the beginning phase of your career itself. So have a knowledge at everything, but be a master at one thing. Like, that's what I would say. Any other questions? Uh,
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable session.
Thank you.
So now it's time for quiz. So I requested all the participants kindly open your browser and type the URL as www.kahoot.it. I request all the participants kindly open your browser and type the URL as www.kahoot.it. And sir, can you please sharing your screen?
Yeah, I'll stop. You want me to share my screen?
Thank you,
Or?
sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, Rasika, can you please share?
Welcome to today's quiz. Go to your browser and type www.kahoot.it and enter your game pin as 8720059. I repeat, go to your browser and type www.kahoot.it and enter your game pin as 8720059. Okay, guys, let's start our quiz. What is data analytics? Analyzing data sets to drive insight about the information contained, collecting the data to predict outcomes, storing of the above. I repeat the question, what is data analytics? 3, 2, 1. Time up, guys. Wow, 8 members answered correctly. KD in first question with the score of 939 points. Let's move to the next question. What are the steps involved in data analytics? Data extraction and categorization, data analysis and visualization, data interpretation and communication, all of the above. I repeat the question. What are the steps involved in data analytics? Hurry up, guys. 3, 2, 1. Time up, guys. Wow, 8 members answered correctly. Against KD in first question with the score of 1892 points. Let's move to the next question. The method by which companies analyze customer data to identify patterns and discover relationship between data elements. Data mining, data digging, customer data management, customer engagement. I repeat the question. The method by which companies analyze customer data to identify patterns and discover relationship between data elements. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time up, guys. Okay, 4 members answered correctly. Now, LN first question with the score of 2856 points. Let's move to the next question. Data analytics used to get insights from data. Statistical figure, numerical aspects, statistical method, none of the above. I repeat the question. Data analytics uses dash to get insight from data. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow, 10 members answered correctly. Again, LN in first question with a score of 3808 points. Let's move to the next question. Which of the following is the branch of statistics which deals with the development of statistical method is classified as industrial statistics, economic statistics, applied statistics, none of the above. I repeat the question. Which of the following is the branch of statistics which deals with the development of statistical method is classified as 3, 2, 1. Time up, guys. Wow, 7 members answered correctly. Now, KD in first question with the score of 4732 points. Let's move to the next question. Error is the difference between the actual value and the expected value. Is the statement is true or false, guys? I repeat the statement. Error is the difference between the actual value and the expected value. Guys, is the statement is true or false? Three, 2, 1. Time up, guys. Wow, 17 members answered correctly. Again, KD in first question with the score of 5696 points. Let's move to the next question. The process of qualifying data is referred to as decoding, structured, enumeration, coding. I repeat the question. The process of quantifying data is referred to as decoding, structure, enumeration, coding. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow, 12 members answered correctly. Again, KD in first question with the score of 6669 points. Keep it up, KD. Let's move to the next question. definition of data visualization. Representing the data in a graphical or pictorial format, representing the data in textual form, representing the data in audio form, all of the above. I repeat the question. Which one of the following is the appropriate definition for data visualization? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time up, guys. Wow, 7 members answered correctly. Again, KD in first position with a score of 7,643 points. Let's move to the next question, which is used when we want to visual examine the relationship between two quantitative variables: bar graph, scatter plot, pie graph, line graph. I repeat the question. What is used when we want to visually examine the relationship between two quantitative variables: bar graph, scatter plot, pie graph, line graph? 2, 1. Time up, guys. Okay, 5 members answered correctly. Now, Alien in first position with the score of 8,570 points. Let's move to the last question. Which of the following is or the true about regressive analysis? Describe association within the data, modeling relationship with the data, answering yes or no question about the data, all of the above. I repeat the question. Which of the following is or the true about regression analysis? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time up, guys. Wow, 10 members answered correctly. Let's move to the podium. Third place goes to Pujita with the score of 5585 point. Second place goes to KD with the score of 8,478 point. And the first place goes to Alan with the score of 9,465 point.
Winners, kindly post your name in the chat box. Name and mail ID. Thank you. Your full name with mail ID, then only we can send the appreciation e-certificates to your mail ID.
I'm grateful to the esteemed delegates of the webinar for their presence and efforts in making this event a great success. I also extend my sincere thanks to our honored resource person and the heads of the departments of CSE, IT, ECE, EEE, AIDS, AIML, Civil, Mechanical, CSBS, and Cybersecurity. I would also like to express my gratitude to the management and principals, sir. I thank each and every one of you to making this event a great success. Thank you.